funny. I enjoyed that.
You gotta kind of make it entertainment.
You
When
do,
people want to come back,
I listen to you. I love you guys. I don't listen to it live, but I listen to it on Facebook. I listen to your last 3 or 4 shows. They're really, really good. You guys are very entertaining. I love entertainment, and you're funny too. You got good sense of humor.
Facebook may not be able to see.
Of course it does. Absolutely. But I think you're so right. I think without that.
My friend Pat, he's like, we're always on top of each other. And he's like, oh, let the kids be. But he told me yesterday, he called me for my birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday. When was your birthday?
Yesterday.
Okay.
And then
Joey, birthday. 29 again?
Yeah. And he said that, at first, you're just running your mouth. But now I can see you guys work good together. And to hear it from this kid, who's Mr. Criticized guy all the time.
You guys definitely compliment each other. It's a good relationship. Oh, sorry, I'm walking in front of that camera.
Question: what will the names of the 2 T stations be? Can we get a petition going to call it the Cranberry Line?
Yeah. And that's Pilgrim Junction. It's not Adams Junction.
Pilgrim Junction.
Yeah.
I mean, on the sign it says Middleboro. And good morning and welcome to Middleboro in Review. Today is February the 5th, 2023. I want to say good morning to Dawn. I want to say good morning to our special guest. In the studio with us once again, Chuck Hart. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning, Joey. Good morning, Don. Great to be here. It's hard to believe it was a month ago that I was here.
Yeah. New Year's Day resolutions.
All gone by now, all gone.
Yeah.
Not to eat donuts, and that ended on the 2nd.
I just had donuts.
Yeah, so.
Can I have a body of donuts? Morning, everybody.
Our weather today, it's going to be a little bit more warmer weather today as it was. Just a little bit. It's not going to be negative 50 wind chill. But 28 degrees currently right now in Taunton, outside of our Taunton Federal Credit Union studios. 28 degrees, a high of 48 today, so we could see 50 today. We could see 50 tomorrow as well, which is a welcome change from what we had. 42 on Tuesday as well. No rain in the forecast until Thursday, but Thursday is going to be 48 degrees. And Friday, there is a possibility that we might get very close to 60. 56 degrees on Friday, so it's going to be very fun to watch, but much warmer weather than we had. Middleboro, 28 degrees, pretty much the same exact weather as well in Middleboro, so that's great. They are seeing for Middleboro possible rain on Thursday, which is interesting, because it's right next to Taunton. Taunton doesn't have anything in the rain department until Friday, but interesting.
I'll be there on the town line checking it out. Making sure.
That must be scattered rain.
Scattered.
On Thursday for Middleborough. Driscoll, Texas, 48 degrees. So Driscoll, Texas is at the high we are going to be at today. But right now it's 48 degrees in Driscoll, Texas. 78 today. Possibility of 80 today or tomorrow. And on Tuesday as well, it's going to be 78 all 3 days. And then it'll cool down to 66 on Wednesday. They'll get some rain in Driscoll, Texas. Driscoll, North Dakota, it is 20 degrees outside, a high of 29 today. So it's going to be cold, but not really seeing any kind of negative weather there, negative degrees or anything. Thursday might come close, a low of 11 and some snow. But other than that, pretty good week in Driscoll, North Dakota. Relatively warm weather for the month of January. Driscoll, North Dakota. Definitely better than what we had this weekend, Don. What were your... you weren't working, other than were you working Friday?
I worked Friday, and it really didn't get super bad until after 2 o'clock because the wind started kicking in, and I only had like a handful left. But I think I dressed correctly because I was comfortable all day. Sometimes you have to dress a little on the lighter side when you're in the cab of the truck because the heaters work so good, and the truck I have heater works great, but you don't want to overheat. Number one, and feel uncomfortable. So there's a recipe of just putting the window down a little bit, running the heat, getting out, and then by the time the stop takes about 10 minutes to get out and fill up the house with oil and come back, and then you got to walk out and run the ticket to the mailbox, and that's pretty much all the motions you have to do. By that time, you're just a little bit chilly, but then you're back in the warm truck, and you have the heater blowing while you're out of the truck. So it worked out good. I mean, over the years, you figure out how to do it, but going to get pizza Friday night was rough.
Yes.
Okay, because I didn't have all the layers on. I only had like one layer.
And Chuck, your experiences with the cold this week.
Oh yeah, Joey and Don. I got out of the. I left my house because yesterday I volunteered at the Sacred Heart Food Pantry, and actually I went to a restaurant in Middleboro for breakfast where I meet a group of friends, and so I left the house about 6:30, and it was at that time it was -8 degrees. So I just had to go very quickly from my car or from my house to my car. It was all like -8 degrees, so it was. And the wind was blowing, and it was cold.
Yeah, when I went to start up the truck yesterday, wasn't having it. Wasn't having it, and your battery's less than 2 years old, so it's newer. So I mean, anybody's vehicle who started yesterday will start the rest of the winter. So
that's good to know because mine just told me I needed a new battery about 8 months ago. So
and it started up.
Yes, but it took a little. It was.
They all did. It was so cold. I mean, I got an 8-cylinder, so that's a lot of cranking amps.
I got my 2010 Toyota Camry with 233,000 miles. So.
Why Toyotas have millions and millions of miles? I called my Uncle Don. He's in Falmouth, and he's always had Toyota. I called him Friday night, and we're talking about he's always had Toyotas, and he's 200 something, 300,000. It just Toyota's always had a good reputation, and even you don't hear about a lot of recalls with the Toyotas too than you do with other cars. It's always been a good product for people.
Very blessed. I got that car used in 2015 with 84,000 miles on it, and now it has 233,000 miles. Just quick digression, just for a minute. I went to get my inspection sticker. Was overdue. It was supposed to be January, and I went yesterday, and the state now has you. And I remember reading this. The sticker says January.
Yeah.
So I didn't get any free time.
So days are over.
The free time is over. So
yeah. No.
Remember that if you go to get your inspection sticker, it's going to be for the month.
You know what? I'm big on inspection stickers because it's even the one day. I mean, it's just I've always been pretty militant about inspection stickers.
I got pulled over once. It's a moving violation. People don't realize that. It's a moving violation.
Well, people think now because of the pandemic and there was some problems with the sticker systems a few years ago and. That they're not looking, they're looking.
Yeah. Oh yes.
And so,
I was caught on 24. This is well before the pandemic, maybe like 2013 or 2014. I totally zoned out, and the state trooper pulled me over, moving violation, and I did.
Did he run your plate?
Yes, he did. Yeah, it must have been on the other side of the road because he turned around. So they must be able to run our. I don't know how. I don't.
They have a scanner.
Yeah, there's a scanner. The scanner picked up on it, and it was a moving violation.
He didn't see the sticker. He's just probably just looking for running plates and just.
That's what he told me. He was running plates.
Yeah. So I mean, he saw that.
So the moral of the story is get it done before.
Well, it's good to get it done.
Yes.
It's just it's good to stay on top of that.
All right, it is 7:15. What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick commercial break, a little early, 5 minutes early, and then what we will do afterwards is I have a little read I want to do. This little thing that I was given by Will Corey, the Lakeville veterans agent. I want to do a little read on that, and then we will talk to Chuck Hart. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we will have the little read that I have given to me by Will Corey, and then we will have a little conversation with Chuck Hart. Later on in the show, we will have our musical recommendation. Don has something really cool for that.
I hope I don't I just hope I don't have a train wreck trying to explain the song after you read it. Been thinking about this for 2 weeks now, people. So we'll see.
All right, let's take a commercial break. I'm Joey Driscoll, joined by Don, and joined by Chuck Hart today on Middleboro in Review. Today is February the 5th, 2023. It is Pro Bowl Sunday. Interesting.
Who cares?
Yeah. Honestly, who cares? It is...
I asked Tom, my brother, he's watching the Pro Bowl. What?
Do they even play in Hawaii anymore? Where do they play the Pro Bowl now? It used to be in Hawaii. I don't even know where it's played. I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mr. Football over there.
I don't know the last time they played in Hawaii.
There'll probably be 8 or 9 people
Probably
watching.
in Anchorage.
it.
I think it's in Vegas this year for some reason. Anyway, all right, let's take a commercial break, and we'll be right back here on Middleboro in Review on WB at 1530 AM and 99.7 FM. There we go.
They used to play in Hawaii, but
They always played in Hawaii. And it was always after the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What a boring. I mean, that's
I think it's more fun after the Super Bowl.
I agree.
Because,
why did they move it in front
Yeah.
of the Super Bowl?
Because it's the last game, it's the last hurrah.
Yeah.
I mean, it meant something, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean nothing now before the Super Bowl because everyone's psyched up for the Super Bowl. Get the Super Bowl
So you
over.
want Cincinnati? Or did Joey want Cincinnati? One of you
Yeah,
wanted
no,
Cincinnati.
I hate Philadelphia. I'm all set with
Well, they
Philadelphia.
beat us in 2018, so.
Yeah, I'm all set with Philadelphia. This fans are animals.
Oh, horrendous.
Yeah.
Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association is an
Yeah, you guys have a great. I've been listening to your back episodes. I love it. I love
Oh,
it.
that's good.
Yeah. Might put me to sleep. I may have to listen to it when I go to bed, like Larry Glick.
Yeah.
Our mission is to
That's
The problem is I couldn't ever sleep with Larry Glick because I was listening to the content. So like,
That's awesome you brought
you don't
up.
remember this guy Larry Glick years ago?
Yeah.
It was like he was like a staple in Boston. And then I saw him at Faneuil Hall, Joey and Don. He used to do this thing. He was live in one of their big RVs or whatever. You know, doing the broadcast from Faneuil Hall. And he used to do this thing. If you were a first-time caller, he would give you a round of applause. He'd go, "Oh, I'm John, first-time caller from Middleboro." And he'd go, "Well, John from Middleboro, let me give you a round of applause." And then he would go like this into the microphone at the end. And I always, like, as a little boy, like 9 or 10 years old, I'm like, "Daddy, what is they doing?" He goes, "Kind of giving the middle finger."
veteran charities.
So he used to shoot people off the air.
That's great you brought up Eric.
Yeah, his face, Joey, his face, like, it lit up. He goes, "How do you know Joey?" He got all excited.
I'll shoot him a Facebook. Maybe I'll call him. I think I have his number.
He'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
His face lit up. It really did.
He almost derailed Joey's career. What he said on the radio. You know,
Oh, what did he say?
Yeah, it was
Just,
yeah. He just,
can I walk by that?
It's water under the bridge.
Yeah,
I apologize for it. It's water under the bridge.
I know, but that was
It was bad, yes,
bad.
but it's water under the bridge.
Yeah, I
No, I like the fact that you're forgiving.
On AM 15.
Yeah, he apologized for
and
it.
99.7 FM.
So
I mean, the only person who really got mad about it was Johnny, right? And a few people you took your likes over the air too. Some people, some of his callers called up and berated him. He took his likes.
Berated Joey?
Yeah, because of what Eric said.
yeah,
But Joey took his likes. But he says, Joey, you weren't on it too. You know, he's like, I know. He took his likes. He's good with that.
Well, I can tell he's very forgiving.
He can take constructive criticism.
yes,
You will not be disappointed.
Kind of have to. You kind of have to in this business.
I can. Yeah, I
Hey,
can.
weren't you just talking about that?
Last week.
Yeah, I'm like, I was having a deja vu. I said, it's true. You have to be able to take constructive criticism. This is a tough business.
And he did that whole show when the day he came back after Johnny told him to not come in for a few days. Those calls are calling and berated Joey. 2 hours of it.
So
Yeah.
were you were live during that time?
Yes,
And calls was it just one caller or several?
No, it
Or
was about 2 or 3.
now I don't invite people who I don't think are ready for being on the air. I don't know. You just kind of walked in.
Ray wanted me to say hi to you too.
He kind of walked in. He kind of walked in that day. I didn't know he was coming. That was also something. But whatever. I forgive him, and it's water under the bridge.
I'm so glad
I
you're
know.
forgiving
I
him.
know.
But he definitely needs to work on his filter. I can still see there was no filter. I introduced him to one of my students.
I had a word with him, and he was looking at me like, "Oh my god."
All right, we gotta go back.
Charges would go
We gotta go back on the air.
All right.
All right, 3, 2, 1, 0, and we are back here on Middleboro Reviews. I turn the music down. There we go.
That's a new thing. I turn the music down. I love it.
That is my new thing. That's gonna be my trademark. As I turn the music down.
Yeah.
Maybe I should trademark that. Anyway, okay, it is 7:21. I want to real quick do a little bit of a read here that I was given by Will Corey on Tuesday. On February 5th, 1918 at 15:45, which is 3:45 p.m., the first shot by the National Guard during World War I was fired by Section 1, Battery A, 101 1st 101 Field Artillery Regiment. Sorry, I stumbled on my words there. And there's a picture here that I have. I'm going to show the Facebook real fast. And there's a picture of the shell of the first shot fired by National Guard with a gun crew. And here is the names of the 101 Field Artillery Regiment. George E. Kent of North Chatham. Edwin T. Martin of Marblehead, who was wounded on April 21st, 1918. Horace L. Parker of Boston. Davis O. Lawrence of West Bedford, who was killed on April 21st, 1918. Corporal Joss I. Abbott of Lynn. Sergeant Benji James of Brookline, who was wounded on April 21st, 1918. And Enos C. Sawyer of Cambridge, who was killed on April 21st, 1918. Don, your thoughts on that?
The first National Guard in Massachusetts, huh?
101 Field Artillery Regiment.
Wow. That's history, huh? And they're all from Mass and all different parts of the state. And yeah, 2 killed in action, you said?
Two killed in
And 2
action
wounded.
that April. 2 wounded and 2 killed in action that April.
Yeah.
And 2 from the North Shore. I grew up in Swampscott, so sandwiched in between Swampscott is sandwiched between Lynn, Mass. You said there was one from Lynn
Yes.
and one from Marblehead. So
That's funny. You grew up in Swampscott?
I did, and my dad, Don, used to deliver mail in West Medford, Massachusetts, for the United States Postal Service for 20 years. So one of them was from West Medford, correct?
Yeah.
I think so.
When I worked at the Marriott, I worked with a retired lieutenant. His name was Tony Dagnese. He was police officer, and so that's
Yeah, he had a son, Bob Dagnese, that was.
I knew Bob.
Yeah,
he was a police officer.
Bob was and Bob was an unbelievable. We used to call him Dagger. Unbelievable
Dagger.
Dagger.
Yeah.
Unbelievable track star. I mean, that guy
yeah.
could run.
He ended up leaving the police, and then he worked at the hotel. At the hotel, it was. I remember. I think me, another guy, and Bob. We went to New York together to see a Red Sox game. It's funny. It's a small world.
It's a very. I wouldn't want to paint it, but it's a very small world. But could he catch people? If anyone attempted to outrun him, forget about it.
Right.
I mean, he was like in Swampscott High School. He was a very, very good track star. So,
Oh, really?
But yeah.
Because I worked security at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, he.
So the North Shore connection. Yeah.
He would help us out, though. I mean, let's say Bobby, because I worked a grave shift, and I said, Bobby, come down. He tell me what you think here, and he'd come down and he said, well, he'd give me his 2 cents about it. He says, I don't do this anymore. But it always helped, though. Yeah, that's funny. Did you know his father?
I did not know his dad.
Yeah,
I did not
he was
know his
awesome.
dad.
Yeah, he was a great guy.
But I was a high school football player, and obviously Mr. Bob Dagnese was a pretty well-respected police officer in town. So.
Yeah.
But,
Right.
So we are in the month of February. Last time we had Chuck Hart on, it was New Year's Day. And so Chuck, what's been going on since New Year's Day?
I just, well, my resolution's all ended on the second, but I just wanted to, as far as St. Vincent de Paul, can I read something on St. Vincent de Paul that I have real quick? It just says, Society of St. Vincent de Paul, Sacred Heart Food Pantry. We are the Society of St. Vincent de Paul Sacred Heart Food Pantry, located in the basement of the Sacred Heart Church Parish Hall. They now changed it to Isidore. It's now the Sacred Heart has changed to Isidore, but it still says on the thing. It still says Sacred Heart Church Parish Hall. The Society of St. Vincent de Paul is a volunteer organization with a mission to offer person-to-person services to less fortunate and suffering. The primary focus of the food pantry is to alleviate the hunger of those individuals and families in our local communities of Middleboro, Rochester, Carver, and Lakeville, to enable them to focus their resources on their critical needs, such as housing and utilities. The pantry serves upwards of 400 households each month who are able to shop at the food pantry and receive a large grocery cart full of food of their choice. And that's the big, I think that's what separates us, is their choice. They come in, there's a person that walks them, takes them around all the different departments, and they pick up what they want, and they go home. And there were many people there yesterday, despite the frigid weather. It was good to see so many people. And then just real quick, so the Society of St. Vincent de Paul Food Pantry provides an array of services to these individuals and families in need, and can always use more volunteers to help in this mission. Do you have the time and talent to assist with any aspect of fundraising, social media, advertising, grant writing, client relations, financial consulting, and computer operations that would benefit to those we serve? We can always use additional help with preparing the pantry, such as picking up and sorting food and stocking shelves on Tuesdays and Fridays. So we're always looking for volunteers for Tuesdays and Fridays, along with distributing food on Wednesday and Saturdays. So always looking for volunteers. And the number is, if you'd like to reach out to us, is 508-947-1717. Again, 508-947-1717. So we really could use volunteers.
And Don, you have some questions maybe about the heating assistance?
Yeah, we were talking about the heating assistance, and considering, yesterday people needed heating assistance for sure, and the veterans.
Yeah, I did. I followed up with David Cunningham, who also says hello. He's the director of the food.
He's called before.
Yeah, he's a good man.
Yep.
He's a good man.
He's called before.
As far as veterans, we do things on Thanksgiving. We make up baskets of food for veterans on Thanksgiving. We do it for Christmas, and we're always looking for ideas. I need to reach out to the Veterans Administrator for the town of Middleboro. I'm sure each town probably has a veterans agent.
It does.
Yeah.
It's in the bank building, I believe, on the 3rd floor.
So
if he hasn't moved,
if anyone's listening, we're always looking for ideas. We are, I think that St. Vincent de Paul is a very fluid organization. We're always looking for ideas and trying to meet the needs of the community, because we know needs in communities change. So there is fuel assistance, and the best thing to do is to reach out that number. You can also, the website at www.svdpmiddleboro.org. Or that number, 508-947-1717 to reach out. But as far as veterans, we're going to keep on moving, and we're always, if people have ideas, please let us know, because we're always looking to help people in the community.
Yeah. And fuel assistance?
Yes, they should call that number,
okay.
And we can help them out with that. We absolutely help with fuel assistance.
Because I remember we were talking to Ray before, and fuel assistance means more than oil. It means helping make propane, and also electric, helping with the electric.
We help. There was one client. I don't necessarily like to say client, but that's what we say. I wish there was a better term. If you guys could think of a better term, because I personally don't like the term client, but that's what's used.
I don't think there's any other word to say.
Yeah. Nothing.
Can't say associate,
yeah.
Because that's someone who may work for you, maybe be associate.
Beneficiary, maybe? Beneficiary?
No, because that seems like it's. I think client is more respectable for that situation.
Well, that makes me feel
beneficiary
better.
means more like. I don't know. It's just I wouldn't want to be a beneficiary. I mean, it sounds. I'm not getting a will.
No, I get it.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like.
I'm just trying to find the right word.
Well, I
guess client's okay. John has given it the right.
I think client's okay.
I think client's okay too, because it's an even playing field.
Yeah.
As far as the wording.
And that's really what we are.
Right.
We want to be a level playing field.
Yeah, because a lot of it's rough for a lot of people to go there. But a lot of people have a lot of pride. Yeah. And they don't, like a lot of people don't want to take, they think it's a handout or whatnot. So if you say beneficiary, maybe that's the wrong word to approach it. So
you're right.
client, it's an even playing field.
You're right.
I like that word, even playing field. The other thing we're going to be, not to move away, but as far as we've helped people with propane too, because people get behind. Life gets difficult. We're living paycheck to paycheck, and it's amazing how quickly you can get behind in your propane bill, in your electric bill, in your oil bill.
I see them in oil company.
Yeah, and we're there to help. We're there to help that also. So the other thing is, you just mentioned something that made me think of something else, a service that we offer. Now I can't remember. I apologize. It'll come back.
Electric.
We can help with electric also, and we help with. Oh yes, we're going to be starting a new because a lot of it is you. I was speaking to a client the other day, and she had a very successful, good job, and just things get in the way. She lost her job, and then a series of very unfortunate events led her to that. And she said, "I never thought I would be sitting here." And I said, "Listen, these things happen. It's part of life. I'm glad you're willing to come and get the support that we offer. But we're also going to be offering financial counseling, not in the sense of telling people where to invest money in 401ks and that type of stuff, but actual budgeting, how to budget, how to save for the future events, and try to really to educate so we can not find ourselves in these unfortunate situations again. So we're going to offer some financial services, and that's to be continued, and we're really looking forward to doing that, to helping clients.
I think I was paying attention when Ray said something about. I think we had to talk about this, but I'm not sure if he passed it on to you or if it's even something that's going on now. But car repairs. Do you guys?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We
have
do
that
that. Yes,
situation?
we do. We help out. Yes, we do.
Because
Yes.
it's funny because I went to my dealership to get an oil change, and guess what I needed? I needed sway bars for my
Yeah.
truck.
Yeah.
So the bill, thinking it's going to be a $75 oil change, turned into a $328 thing. And I mean, I had the money to pay it, but it was, it's just like, really? Yeah. So.
Well, you're blessed to have it, because some people don't.
Right.
Don't have. And then they got to go to a credit card, and then they end up.
Right.
We know now that interest rates are going up again on credit cards and home loans. So yes, we do help. That you absolutely heard Ray correctly.
Right.
That we can help with car repairs and things like that.
Because it's something that you wouldn't think of a food pantry would
No,
do.
we're so much more than that, and
Right.
that's why I think we get painted into that corner of being a food.
That's-
And that's a marketing. That's why I'm so glad that you allow me to come here, because even if one person has a car issue, can reach out to that number at 508-947-1717 and say, "I have this issue. Can you help
Right.
with this?"
Yeah.
I don't think there's if you have if anyone that's listening that has a concern or an issue, reach out. The worst thing that we're going to say is no, and we might be able to lead you in a direction where someone can help you.
Right.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because
Yeah.
that's.
No, I remember Ray was talking about that, and I was like, wow, that's something, because car repairs can get out of control.
Yeah,
out of control.
Joey can't appreciate this because he's too young, and now that I'm in my 50s, every time I go to the dentist for cleaning, it's like it's like, okay, but you need this, a root canal, a crown,
Yep.
and sometimes when we take our cars to get an oil change, that's
Yep.
what it turns into. It's a
Right.
series of other events that need to be taken
Right.
care of.
And people who don't have the money
Correct.
will tend to not fix the situation.
Yep.
And then now you're driving on. I mean,
Yeah.
I could have drove out of there with my sway bar or whatever. It's only sway bar, but I mean, so yeah, it's fixed. He says, well, we do both sides, which is, you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, for somebody who was tight of money, we just do one side. Well, we really don't do that. We got to do them both. And I was out of there less than an hour and a half, and whatever. I for any kind of repair work, I thought it was all right, but. It's good to know that, and
Yeah, since becoming president, I'm amazed, because I always thought
I'm sure there's
food
going to be a
pantry-
limit. I mean,
Yeah, there's limits on it.
the
There needs to be, yeah,
transmissions are like
there's
$5,000 these
There's
days.
limits on, there's probably a limit, but we can help. And
Or they can give a percentage of
Yes,
the bill.
yes.
That's what it seems like be the most fair thing to do, than just to get a percentage. You may pick up 30 or 40% of the bill or something like that.
And some people that are struggling with housing will pay for. I think we might have talked about this last time, but sometimes we'll help people with a hotel. If they need a couple of nights in a hotel and stuff.
Right.
No one should be out in the cold. Nobody
Right.
should be, especially if they're children or they're elderly. We're
Yep.
really, children and elderly obviously are very, very important. So
Right.
we want to help with many, many things.
No, that's huge, and it's St. Vincent de Paul Food Pantry. You feel you've run another name for it because it's much more than food.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like you said. It's good that you can come on and talk about it and get the. But you gotta come up with a fancier name, I think. Just so people know. I'm not sure if you're allowed to add anything to it, but then again, sometimes less is more on
Yeah.
some situations, and But I mean,
But part of our mission is to find issues in the community and try
Food
to
and-
address
right.
and try to address those issues. And it's so much more than food.
right, but yeah, it's maybe if you could have a talk with really think it through, and have a talk with the people you work with, and the other volunteers or whatever, and you're the big cheese over there, right?
Oh boy, are we in trouble?
So,
But the food is still important too.
well,
I don't want to
food
minimize
and-
that.
yeah, but if you can add something behind it that doesn't really make it sound too generic, too cheesy, for say Mr. Cheese, that will might just get, because now you got people asking more questions than just food. I mean, you got heat assistants, you have the
We
vegetable
were even
programs.
getting out real live Christmas trees during Christmas.
That's what I'm
we,
saying.
we had this family. I'll never forget this. That the children, probably the grandchildren, were probably 5 and 7. They were crying. That they were going to have a real Christmas tree.
The Christmas trees were like in the tune of between $70 and $100 this year.
And they didn't think they were going to be able to have one, and that was a tradition in their family.
Yeah.
And things got hard, and obviously a Christmas tree is not a priority, but
Right.
that brought a lot of joy to those. Just to see those two children
Right.
so joyful, it brought tears to my eyes.
It's funny how there's people who love Christmas trees and there's people who don't. All right, and I got my little protege.
Another thing I want to mention, I want to ask about, is we are coming up on April. April's an important month as well. We got Easter coming up. Is there anything for the St. Vincent de Paul Food Pantry? Any events that you got going on for February, March, April?
In April, we will be handing out, I believe they're going to do spiral hams this year, and hundreds of families will come down, and you'll get the whole mixed bag of we will make, as we make our Christmas meals and we do it for Thanksgiving, Christmas. We'll also be doing that for Easter, so that'll be to be continued. I hopefully I can come back in March, because I really look forward to this.
No,
really enjoy being
I
here.
think
So,
I think as long as everything works out and there's no more problems with pandemics and stuff like that, I think we can have you.
yeah, I would enjoy, and I can get all that information.
We don't mind showing up at 7 in the morning on a Sunday, and that's huge. It's good time.
Well, I enjoy being with you guys. You guys have a great. This is a great platform, and it's there's a lot of energy, and as I said, I love the father and son.
Well, I'm
relationship.
so proud of Joey, because this was something. Me sitting here, I've given Joey a lot of good ideas to help the show out, but this food, the St. Vincent, it was his baby. It's something
yes,
he
Rachel,
brought up on
yeah,
us.
yeah.
He it's funny. I said to him, I said, "Did you do this and the other thing?" He said, "Just trust me." And he comes out and he floors me. It's just like, I guess he does do his homework, because his kid never did his homework until he's the kind of kid who would do really good in school, but he'd never do his homework. He'd just do it at the last minute.
I've always had trouble with that.
And he's better working under pressure.
I am.
It's a lot to be said for that.
He works under pressure better. I mean, there's people, and whatever works for somebody is fine. They got everything planned out, and he'll show up with something on a matchbook cover. Right? But I mean, I think that he'll have the same deliveries package, especially as he possibly can. But as far as the St. Vincent Food Pantry, he started that.
Yeah. Ray told me that Ray said he was on Thursdays and
yeah, he called them, and then we still got some commercials, but we're still looking to have you maybe do a commercial, get your voice on a commercial or whatnot.
Why can't we use your voice?
Can you shoot a commercial at 10 o'clock?
No, but it's a privilege to be here. But in March I will bring up the whole. But it's real, and it's amazing how they get people. Don't even have to leave their car. Like they'll bring that right over to them, and it'll be a meal with all the fixings and all the trimmings. And, and we do that for Thanksgiving. We do that for Christmas, and we do that for Easter. And the toy drive is something next year. I'd love to. When we talk about what that looks like, that's like incredible. It's incredible. Yeah.
Christmas trees.
Yeah.
I mean, what don't you do?
Yeah. And as I said, Don and Joey, we're always looking for new ideas. So if there's a need in the community that people are aware of, please bring it to us. Please bring it to us, because we have a lot of wonderful civic and religious organizations, and all doing the same thing. I'd love to see us all, if we could all get together as one united front, what it could look like.
Oh yeah.
because there's just so many needs in so many communities, and there's a lot of other civic organizations that are doing wonderful things too. And I would love to see us all sitting in the same room one time and maybe we can all come here, put us in the same room and be able to put all these wonderful ideas and talented people, because we all have talent.
You just got so much to offer, and it's just like you have a restaurant that just used to sell donuts. Now they sell more than donuts.
Yeah.
So what do you just call it donuts? You know, it's just. I mean, it's a hard thing to put your finger on to try to, because the communication's the key.
Absolutely, and this is why I thank you for this platform, to be able to come on the show once a month and the commercials that you run. And the other thing is, volunteers is so important. We have the need for volunteers. We always need volunteers. And I look at the volunteers, many of them well into their 70s and 80s, and lifting heavy things. I mean, these men and women are they're incredible assets to the communities that make up the Sacred Heart Food Pantry.
And I bet half these people don't even want a pat on the back.
No, they don't.
They don't. Yeah, they'd rather just show up. I mean, that's the greatest generation, in my opinion.
It really is. And the behind the scenes stuff that goes on to get so the food pantry runs on Wednesdays, and they alternate between mornings and afternoons and every Saturday morning, except for the 5th Saturday of the month. But what goes on to get everything ready for this is amazing.
And what's that number, Chuck?
That number again, Don, is 508-947-1717. 508-947-1717.
How about one more time, Chuck?
508-947-1717.
So it's for the St. Vincent de Paul Food Pantry in Middleboro. Great organization. We are honored to have you here today.
Honored to be here. Honored to be here.
So yeah, I think you could be a permanent fixture over there.
I'd like that.
So Don, let's get this. I have a question here from one of our listeners. Paul Lazarovich, who is the host of Cranberry Country Journal.
And you can hear here
Saturdays.
On Saturday at 10 o'clock on WVBF.
So he
1530.
left us a note. Left us a little note this morning, and he added a question to the note. The question is, what will the names of the 2 tea stations be in Middleboro? I'm assuming he's mentioning the one that's going to open up and the one that we have in Middleboro Lakeville.
Middleboro, okay? And it's Pilgrim Junction is the name of the junction. So it might be Middleboro, Pilgrim Junction, but it's going to be just Middleboro. Middleboro Lakeville is probably just going to stay the same, because it's technically in Lakeville. The property's in Lakeville, so why stay Middleboro Lakeville? And that will be used for the Cape Flyer only until maybe one day there'll be train service down to Buzzards Bay, because South Middleboro could use a station, don't you think? Rock Village, number 1.
Yeah.
They built a wood platform station in Wareham Village, and then you have Buzzards Bay, which is at the bridge. In my opinion, I think that should just end. Real service over the Cape isn't going to work, in my opinion. It's too much.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, so we'll be right back here on Middleboro in Review. It is 7:44 a.m. We'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have a little bit of a sports segment. We'll talk about some things. Boy, there's a lot of things going on. And we'll talk about it. And then we'll have our music recommendation and then our Tonight History. So we will be right back. And I just want to mention, I was going to do it today. I was going to do a musical recommendation myself, but I am going to push mine back to next week. I want to have Dawn be front and center this week.
Well, because we pushed mine last week to this one.
Yes, because it's a very important musical recommendation, and I want Dawn to have front and center with that.
I hope everyone just bears with me when I explain about it.
So, all right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. You're on Middleboro Review on 1530 AM, 99.7 FM on WVBF.
Read this.
Attention. High school sports fans, are you an armchair official? Know the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let
Yeah, that's you, Joe.
It's me. Kind of.
This is screw up. Destruction. Extinction's due to destruction.
But there's a lot of fans that take it a little bit, a lot too far
Oh, it's out of control.
at games.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to get your voice on one of these commercials.
So I'm not even going to mention the
Can
Pro Bowl.
can
I
you
don't
send
care
something to
about the
Joey?
Pro Bowl.
Yeah, definitely.
Do a
Wow,
commercial.
I never realized that. That's like.
So,
So this is going to tie in what you said when someone was. I heard you guys. You know, my mother got the same call that you were talking about from a lawyer.
Yeah.
And they knew it was very strange because she says, Amanda, this doesn't sound like you. And she calls my mother Nana, and they knew.
Yeah.
So it had to be somebody that knew. But anyways, my father is like, what is Alzheimer's? He says, Diane, hang the phone up. You're being scammed.
You know what? They can get a lot from Facebook.
That's where they got it from then. They got it from Facebook. I didn't
Yeah.
even think of that.
They
That's
can
where
get
they
a lot.
got
I mean, Joey's on every week, so they get someone to sound like him. I mean, he's a public figure.
it. She said, she's like, it
Anyway.
sounded like her, but it didn't sound like her.
Yeah.
But the thing that got her concerned is she said, Nana. She was like, Nana, I'm at the police station, and if you don't pay this man, I'm gonna go to jail. And my father, God bless him, with Alzheimer's, literally said, Diane, you're being scammed. This is not right. This is not. And I love how you said, ask a personal question.
Yeah.
But when you're all dysregulated, my mother was, like you said, the anxiety got in.
Yeah.
My mother never would have thought to ask her a personal question. Like, what are the names of your 3 children?
Yeah. Or something like, I don't know, there's something that I can ask Joey that he'll know that
Yeah,
only
that
Joey
Joey-
will
yeah,
know.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
yes, exactly.
what I'm
Yes,
saying?
exactly. Yes.
But imagine putting your energy into being a scammer and doing that to people rather than being a good person and trying to help people. And
There's,
it's like,
there's a lot out there. Joey's been finding these guys online who terrorize scammers in India. They do. They call them. They know where they are. They know what building they are. They know what sectional they're in.
They even get them rated. They
Yeah.
even get rated.
You get rated, yeah.
Yeah, they get them
Yeah,
rated.
they get
it's an interesting community.
Yeah, they're getting them back.
so that was a Rush song?
Yeah, it was actually from their last
What
album.
year were you born, Don?
67?
Okay, so I get you. So you're 55.
Yeah, how old are you?
54.
Yeah, we born
I'll be
68.
50. Yeah, 68.
Yeah,
So we have that connection too, that generational.
yeah, right.
Red Mike.
Yeah, you got a nice way about you. You're very funny. I like how you're honest too.
All right.
You tell it how it is.
3,
It's the Driscoll's fault.
2,
When you get a second, Joey, here's that.
3, 2, 1, and we're back here on Middleboro in review as I once again turn the music down. All right, it is 7:48. I'm going to read that in just a moment. Let's do our sports segment here. Do a quick one, so we'll have time for the music recommendation. So Super Bowl Sunday is next Sunday, and I just want to let everyone know real quick that we're going to have a guest next week calling in. Danny Harmon calling in once again on Super Bowl Sunday. That is the 3rd straight Super Bowl Sunday we've had him call in, Don.
Yeah, I'm smiling. I love that guy.
Can't wait.
Oh, his voice is amber gold. It really is. He's just got the. He does a lot of train videos. Distant Signals, the name of his production, and it's awesome. Still waiting for a new one since we talked last. He hasn't done one, but I'm sure he's going to do one soon.
So I want to give a shout out to all the people who worked on the Red Sox truck day on Friday. Very cold weather on Friday.
They just drove out of it, though.
Yeah, they did. They drove
hit
out of it.
snow. They got out
I
of
mean,
it.
they stopped. They stopped in Worcester. They did. They stopped in Worcester beforehand, and they had a little event in Worcester
on Friday, right?
Yep. They had a little event in Worcester. It was really nice. But yeah, shout out to everyone who worked on that because it was cold on Friday for sure. Our Super Bowl this year, it is Chiefs versus Eagles. Gonna be an interesting game. Gonna be a fun game to watch. Again, the ad should be funny. I mean, I don't know. It depends on year to year when it comes to the Super Bowl ads.
Sometimes they nail them, and sometimes they
Yeah.
do a lot of duds.
They should be. I mean, some of them should be funny. I mean, I've seen some of the teases for some of the ads so far, and they seem to be pretty cool, pretty funny. So we'll see what happens with that.
I was so excited about 4 years ago. Ferris Bueller was in an ad, and everyone thought he was going to do a new movie, like another Ferris Bueller's Day Off growing up. And I'd go see that in a second. I love Ferris Bueller.
We were blessed to grow up in that. Ferris Bueller.
Ferris been out 9 times.
The Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
All those those great Molly Ringwald movies.
Oh yeah.
John Hughes.
Our halftime show. I'm not sure if I'm too interested in it. It's Rihanna this year.
Was it the 15th time Rihanna's been playing?
Rihanna's good. Rihanna is good.
Has she ever played at the Super Bowl before?
I do not know.
Because it seems like she has, but I mean, I don't know.
I like Rihanna. I'm not sure if I'm interested in that Super Bowl halftime show, but I mean, I'll give it a chance. I'll probably listen to a song or two. I'll give it a chance. But I'm really looking forward to the game itself. The Chiefs and Eagles are evenly matched, and when I say evenly matched, they're evenly matched. They've scored the same exact amount of points this season. I think it was 594, I think is the number. Same exact points throughout the whole season. They have the same record, 16-3. It's going to be a fun game for sure. So I'm looking forward to it. I am going to pick... you're going to hate me, Don. I think I'm going to pick the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm not going to pick the Eagles. Yeah, I'm going with Cincinnati. Because
No, Cincinnati's not in it. It's the Chiefs.
Chiefs, yeah. I'm sorry. Go with anybody but the Eagles, all right? Yeah. I thought Dallas was in it last week. My buddy Bill says, no, they're out.
And, Chuck, who are you picking?
Yes, tough questions. I have to go with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a good game.
It's going to go either or. And both teams did excellent this year. They deserve it. If any teams that make this point, you have to give them credit, and you have to give them a lot of credit to get to this point.
Something for Barry Sanders. If he's listening right now, the New England Revolution are on the field today. I don't know if it's a home game or not. It doesn't say. But they have a home game. Not home game, but I don't know. I don't know if it's a home game. It doesn't say here. But the New England Revolution versus the Philadelphia Union today at noon. It's a club friendly. They are still in the preseason. I don't know when the regular season starts here. I can look that up. I'll give the answer to that maybe on Thursday. But again, that's going to be interesting to watch the New England Revolution this year.
That's great. Great, Barry's listening.
Yeah.
There's a big Revolution
Yeah,
game.
absolutely.
They talk. I mean, they hijacked his Saturday morning show on soccer. Little by little, they're talking more about soccer on that Saturday show.
The Boston Bruins are off. They are in the midst of a 10-day break. They will be back on Saturday. The rest of the league, they're back tomorrow. So the Bruins get a nice little break while the rest of the league have to fight it out and play some games. So it's gonna be fun for the Bruins to sit back and watch the rest of the league until February 11th, where they have to face the Capitals, which will be a tough game for sure. And NASCAR begins their season today at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. I love that they're racing at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. It's a cool venue, and it's a cool race, the Clash at the Coliseum. So I'm going to enjoy that for sure. It's a preseason race, pretty much. There's really no, there's no points being given out. But it's a fun race anyway. All right, so 7:54 a.m. Dawn, I'm going to flip it over to you.
You got to read this, remember?
I'm going to read, yes,
Okay.
I forgot. I'm going to read something first, and I'm going to flip it over to you.
And I have no choice but to make my comment brief, which is good.
The song The Wreckers by the group Rush, written by their lyricist and wordsmith Neil Peart, is about a ship in dire circumstances caught in a fierce hurricane. The ship is being thrashed and pounded to what seems to be an inevitable doom. Suddenly, a light appears in apparent salvation, a light to guide them to safety. To their dismay, the light has been set by pirates, luring them to their destruction as the breakers drive the ship onto the rocks, smashing it to pieces so the pirates can pilfer its cargo. The crew dies in despair in the icy waters as the pirates escape with their treasure. The verse, which is repeated throughout the song, is, "All I know is you have to be wary of a miracle too good to be true. All I know is that sometimes the truth is contrary. Everything in life you thought you knew." The song appears to be a grim and pessimistic portrayal of the inexorability of human nature, where evil preys on the helpless and the innocent. It highlights false hope, betrayal, and greed. The ship in the hurricane appears to be a metaphor for the struggles of life and how carefully we must choose who we trust, or we could ultimately be betrayed and taken advantage of, especially when we are at our most vulnerable.
That last statement, most vulnerable, comes to mind over a friend of mine back, this happened years ago, well, 5-6 years ago. We had those windstorms in 2018, and it wreaked havoc on the coastal communities of Massachusetts and pretty much the interior. Power outage, flooding, it was a disaster. And you really need to take care of your neighbor when things go bad. I mean, especially now in the middle of the winter. We haven't had the snow, we had the cold situation yesterday, but situation was my friend lost power and got flooded out. And next door neighbor was higher up, so they were fine and they had a generator. And after a couple days, they'd like, come on, well, you can sleep here. So reluctantly, my friend said, yes, I'll come. And after going in there, and maybe they had dinner, maybe, I don't know, maybe some drinking was involved, I don't know. Maybe not by my friend, but maybe by the host or whatever. But when my friend went to bed, they were talking bad about my friend. They could hear, my friend could hear them talking, just saying stuff bad. And in a way, that song has a lot to do with the pirates luring her in to the false sense, meaning, stuck in someone's house, hearing them talk bad about this person, just enough where you can't confront them with loud enough, and it just put this person in a real tough. They pillaged their pride, meaning I think this person would have rather stayed in a cold house than to have that. So it was like the pirates were the opportunists, because they brought this person in, you got to be wary about the miracles too good to be true, and then you go under someone's roof and now they're bad mouthing you, and you can't do anything about it. You're sitting there listening to it, maybe through the windows, loud. Maybe, like I said, maybe when people drink, they get a little mouthy and stuff. And this person told me this story, and it broke my heart. And every time I listen to the song and read this, I think about that story. I think about people who pillage and pillage people's pride, especially in situations where they're most vulnerable.
Chuck, your quick thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's if you could forward that to me, that's a beautiful metaphor of to text it to me. What Joey just that's like that is, and when you're in your most vulnerable point to take advantage of somebody.
And this person told me the story, and I knew it was true.
Yeah.
Because there's people don't lie about stuff like that.
No.
And it broke my heart because I was just like, really? And I was helping them. I was in the process of helping this person. Okay, because I help. My heart helps. These people gave her shelter, but gave it under a false pretense of security, and then it made this person feel insignificant. You should never feel insignificant.
No.
I think this person would have rather been in the house free.
Yeah.
So to me, it was in that way. I mean, the story tells one thing. What Neil Peart tried to explain is sometimes the truth is contrary. Sometimes you got to be wary and that's just one thing you got to be careful.
All right, it's 8 o'clock. Alternate histories, real quick. 1919, Charlie Chaplin, Mary Pickford, Douglas Fairbanks, and D.W. Griffith launch United Artists. United Artists, great movie company, who is responsible for the Rocky series. Most of them, I think, were under the United Artists name there. 1971, astronauts land on the moon in the Apollo 14 mission, February 5th, 1971. Birthdays on this day. 1725, James Otis Jr., American lawyer and politician, Massachusetts. Politician, I believe. 1942, Roger Staubach, American football player, sportscaster, businessman. 1947, we were talking about NASCAR earlier. Gerald Waltrip, American race car driver and sportscaster. His birthday is today. He's, of course, the brother of Michael Waltrip, who is part of the, I believe, Fox NASCAR broadcast booth there. 1992, we talked about this yesterday on Silver City Meeting House. Neymar Jr., his birthday is today. He is a Brazilian football player, soccer player. Deaths on this day. 1970, Rudy York, American baseball player, coach, and manager. 2012, Sam Coppola, American actor, passed away. 2020, Kirk Douglas, American actor, he passed away. He is the father of Michael Douglas. And 2 years ago today, we lost Christopher Plummer, great actor from Canada. All right, we are going to go to our USA Radio News, and then we will have Bread of Life with Pastor Ortez Vancross coming up right after the news. We'll be back with that in just a few minutes, and I want to say thank you, everyone, for watching today, and we'll be back next. And I want to thank Chuck Hart as well. I'm sorry, Chuck.
Awesome.
I want to thank Chuck Hart as well for coming in today and speaking with us. All right, we'll be back next week, the February 12th edition, Super Bowl Sunday Middleboro Room Review edition with Danny Harmon. Bye-bye, everybody.
Awesome.
Could you forward that to me, John?
Yeah, actually, Joey, I forwarded it to you. Can you forward it to him? Do you have his number?
Yeah, one.
Joey does. I'd really
One
like
sec.
to. Yeah, that's a very powerful.
Yeah, I had
very
my
powerful.
yeah, just.
You know, I just had a thought when you guys were mentioning the Super Bowl and everything. John Rook, I don't know if you know John Rook. John Rook is actually in the Rhode Island Broadcasters Hall of Fame. He's a Patriot. He does the Friars games, and he does the at the Patriots games.
Bye, everybody.